Have you heard about the unexpected challenges that have left giants like Ford and GM in disbelief? They can't sell EVs. Buckle up for a roller coaster of insights as we unpack the shocking developments that are reshaping the electric vehicle landscape. Stay tuned to uncover the reasons behind this surprising twist and its potential impact on the automotive industry. Let's dive into the details of this groundbreaking news. Production delays have affected both Ford and GM as a result of supply chain problems, especially with regard to battery components. Their capacity to satisfy the current demand for their EVs has been hampered by this. While Tesla continues to lead the EV industry, other well-known automakers like Hyundai and Toyota are also expanding their EV lineups. It is more difficult for Ford and GM to distinguish out in this intense rivalry. The cost of Ford and GM's electric vehicles can be higher than that of other rivals, especially when taking government subsidies into account. This may make them less available to customers on a tight budget. Gas-powered vehicles have traditionally been linked with legacy automakers such as Ford and GM. It requires time and persistent work to change consumers' perceptions of their EV offers. For Ford and GM, there are encouraging indicators despite these difficulties. Considerable pre-orders for EVs have been reported by both Ford and GM, indicating considerable consumer enthusiasm. Two of the best-selling EVs in the US are the Chevrolet Bolt and the Mustang Mach-E. Both businesses are demonstrating their long-term commitment to the industry by making large expenditures in the research and manufacturing of EVs. Ford, for instance, has promised to spend $50 billion on electric vehicles by 2026. Although the EV market as a whole is still in its infancy, it is anticipated to expand quickly over the next several years. Ford and GM now have a great chance to increase their market share in the future. Overall, it's too soon to rule Ford and GM out of the race, even though their current EV sales may not be living up to the initial hype. Although they have real obstacles to overcome, they are making efforts to do so in order to put themselves in the best possible position to succeed in this dynamic market going forward. Despite its difficulties, GM hasn't declared its upcoming closure. On the other hand, primarily as a result of supply chain interruptions affecting EV production, they have seen restructuring and production reductions, including layoffs. It's oversimplified to blame the CEO alone for the circumstances. Complicated elements like customer preferences shifting, market rivalry, and worldwide economic trends all come into play. America's most famous carmaker, Ford, is in a difficult situation. On one side, they're making significant investments in the development and introduction of new EVs as part of their aggressive push towards an electric future. However, their electric fantasies aren't converting into massive sales just yet, which is raising concerns at the Dearborn headquarters of the corporation. What then is the cause of the disconnect? Ford has committed billions of dollars to electric vehicles with the goal of having 40% of global sales be electric by 2030. But those expectations are not entirely met by the state of affairs at the moment. Although EV sales are increasing, they are not yet at the predicted level to warrant the significant investments. More expensive EV models, such as the Mustang Mach-E and the soon-to-be F-150 Lightning, make up the majority of Ford's current lineup. These electric vehicles compete in a market where consumers on a tight budget may still choose gas or hybrid vehicles because of their lower initial prices, despite the EV's superior performance and sophisticated amenities. The manufacture and delivery of EVs are impacted by issues such as supply chain interruptions and chip shortages that affect the larger automotive market. Additionally, buyers may be reluctant to spend a premium on pricey EVs due to rising prices and economic uncertainty. Ford's EV goals face a special obstacle in North America. American consumers frequently have to pay more upfront for EVs and have fewer options for charging them, especially when they live outside of cities, in contrast to several European and Asian markets that have robust government subsidies and well-established charging infrastructure. This puts up a big barrier to widespread EV adoption. It's critical to stay away from giving Ford a miserable, hopeless picture. Since the EV market is still in its infancy, Ford's initial expenditures may have set them up for future expansion. Ford is working with partners to increase the availability of charging infrastructure and creating more reasonably priced EV options, such as the Maverick Hybrid. Adapting pricing tactics and learning from present issues may draw in a larger customer base. Although Ford's transition to electric vehicles hasn't been easy, the corporation has the ability to overcome the difficulties. Ford has the ability to transform the warnings into a call to action and propel their blue oval towards a very exciting future by persisting in their innovation, modifying their tactics, and attending to customer complaints. Recall that the switch to electric vehicles is intricate and varied. Ford's current situation serves as a prime example of the chances and difficulties that big automakers are facing during this revolutionary time. We can advance toward a clean and accessible electric future for everybody if we adopt a balanced viewpoint and concentrate on sustainable solutions. Production of the Ford F-150 Lightning, which was once considered as a revolution on wheels, has in fact been temporarily halted. Discussions over its future and Ford's larger electric vehicle strategy have been triggered by this. Let's go clearly through this complicated story. In order to address a battery safety concern relating to possible overheating, Ford has really stopped manufacture of the F-150 Lightning. This is a sensible move that puts quality and safety first. Jim Farley's suggestion that Ford should be seen as a startup in the electric vehicle industry demonstrates a commitment to flexibility, creativity, and market adaptation. It conveys a resolve to achieve, while simultaneously acknowledging the difficulties brought about by this change. Farley acknowledges that there may be losses in the transitional period, but stresses the importance of strategic investment and long-term vision. Increased material costs, fierce competition, and supply chain interruptions are some of the issues facing the larger EV market. These elements affect not just the F-150 Lightning, but also industry-wide production. It is naive to evaluate Ford's electric vehicle achievements exclusively on the basis of the F-150 Lightning's brief absence. Their commitment to growing the infrastructure for charging EVs, collaborations with battery makers, and investment in EVs across different market sectors demonstrate a more comprehensive approach. Ford is making every effort to find a solution to the battery safety issue and quickly get the F-150 Lightning back into production. Sustaining customer trust will need openness and prompt communication. Any business, including Ford, must continuously develop, learn from setbacks, and adjust to market input in order to prosper in the ever-changing EV marketplace. The iconic American car maker General Motors is facing a number of difficulties. From declining EV sales and layoffs to issues with self-driving cars, the business must make important decisions and deal with public criticism. Mary Barra leads the way as CEO through these challenging times. Many decisions require difficult trade-offs, but some have generated criticism and raised questions about the company's direction, such as the recent layoffs that involved more than 1,000 people. Barra must strike a balance between long-term investments in cutting-edge technologies like autonomous driving and EVs and the pressing need to meet urgent financial obligations. Finding the correct balance will be essential to negotiating the automotive industry's challenging shift. In the EV market, GM and Ford are both having problems, as seen by production holdups, intense competition, and pricing issues. But to announce their death too soon is premature. Both businesses are demonstrating their long-term commitment to EV development by making large expenditures in upcoming EV development. Since the EV business is still in its infancy and is predicted to grow quickly, these established players may have future prospects. Understanding the actual state of affairs and the prospects for these automotive behemoths requires contextual analysis, taking into account potential biases in information sources and looking beyond specific losses to larger trends. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to stay connected with our journey through the world of innovation. Feel free to share your thoughts and comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Stay tuned for more exciting insights into the world of technology and innovation.